Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night, the Tigers found out just how hot the Royals are. KC, with a win last evening, has now won 8 consecutive ball games, and in doing so, they have pulled within one half game of the Tigers in the standings. Tonight, however, is a new night, and it's a gorgeous night for baseball here in the Motor City. Game 2 featuring the Kansas City Royals and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. One thing we do know for certain, the Tigers got to get it going, and they need to get it going right now because this Royals team, Rod, is red hot.
There's no doubt about that. Tigers are going to have to match the energy that the Kansas City Royals displayed in last night's game. I think most people thought and knew they had enough pitching to help them win the American League Central, but their offense has shown up. They've got an outstanding bullpen. They run the bases very well, and they are playing their best baseball of the season as we speak.
Meanwhile, Max Scherzer is pitching his best baseball, especially after his last start. It was a complete game Thursday, and Chicago was awfully good that night.
You know, he got ahead of a lot of Chicago White Sox hitters, and he was simply able to dominate them after he was able to do that. Lots of lazy fly balls. He had 8 strikeouts in that game. As you mentioned, his first career complete game, and it happened to be a shutout. The fastball was firm. It was 94, 95 all night long. He changed eye levels up and down with that lethal fastball, and his curveball and his changeup, they have been much improved this year. Max will have to have that same kind of game here tonight if he's going to slow down this Kansas City Royals offense.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Shannon Hogan. But coming up tonight, Max Scherzer is just one half of what is a really good pitching matchup this evening. Yordano Ventura, the 23-year-old phenom, is on the hill for the Royals. Stay with us. Game 2 next. field conditions brought to you by Ace and the Scotts Company, and it's 90 degrees at the ballpark tonight. It's very humid as well, and the Tigers and the Royals getting set for Game 2 in this big showdown series here. The Tigers lost the opener last night, and Max Scherzer getting set to go back to work here tonight in Game 2. Nori Aoki is standing in, and tonight's first pitch is bounced to the shortstop right at Suarez. 1 pitch, 1 out. Good way to start this one here tonight. Here's a check now of Max Scherzer, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And 1 pitch, 1 out. That's exactly what Max did 5 days ago against Chicago White Sox. He was ahead of most of those hitters, which allowed him to expand the strike zone. Overall this year, Max having an outstanding campaign in the 2014 season. 8-2 with a 3.05 ERA.
So Scherzer now will face Omar Infante with 1 out. Royals brought out the big bats last night, a season-high 17 hits for KC.
They swung at a lot of first pitches last night. Aoki, he did it quite a bit himself.
Infante in last night's ball game homered, knocked in 4, was 2 out of 5. The former Tiger returning to Detroit wearing KC colors this year. Scherzer in search of his 9th win of the season tonight. The 0-1 is a strike called on the outer edge. 0-2.
Max had 11 0-2 counts in his start 5 days ago against the Chicago White Sox, which really helped him dominate an offense that was swinging the bats pretty well.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it missed low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it was the first complete game in Scherzer's career, which kind of took a monkey off his back, because it was something that I think he kept hearing people talk about. He struck out 8 in that game. 3 hits, that's it. Here's the 1-2. Sends that one back into the dugout.
You always want to keep yourself out of fastball counts when you're going up against Omar Infante. He is a tremendous fastball hitter, especially when he knows that fastball is coming.
Infante, 3 home runs. He's knocked in 30, batting .249. He sends this one high in the air to shallow left field. Suarez back, Davis in. Rajay looks into the sunlight. And there are 2 gone. Rest of the lineup tonight for the Royals, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Hosmer coming up next. Then it's Billy Butler, who's been red hot in his last 6. Gordon and Perez also in the middle of the lineup. Moustakas Escobar and Gerard Dyson patrolling center field in this one here tonight in place of Lorenzo Cain. 2 up, 2 down for Hosmer. A .264 hitter, but just .214 career against Max. Hosmer had a couple of hits last night that he will not soon give back, but they didn't even leave the infield. He was 2 out of 6 in that game, a run scored as well. Scherzer's 1-0 is hammered back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on Eric Hosmer.
That's what Dale Swain, their hitting coach, has a lot of these Kansas City Royals hitters doing these days. Look for the ball up in the strike zone, and when you see it up in the strike zone, go after it, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball. They did a lot of that last night.
1-2 on Hosmer. Royals just a half game behind Detroit. There's Dale Swain, the new hitting instructor for the Kansas City Royals.
They've kind of changed their approach as well. They're not looking to just drive the ball up the middle, stay on the baseball, hit it the other way. Swain has a lot of these guys turning on fastballs.
Swing and a miss. Hosmer goes down. A snappy 1-2-3 first inning for Max Scherzer. That's his first strikeout of the game. Orioles. Rajai Davis will lead it off for the Tigers. Their starting lineup tonight presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And it looks like this. It's Davis, Kinsler, Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Rajai had a big night last night. Victor Martinez, your DH. J.D. Martinez out in right field in place of Torrey Hunter. They got Castellanos at third and a bottom 3 of Jackson Avila and Eugenio Suarez. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Yordano Ventura.
Yeah, Ventura not very big in stature, but he's been described as having electric stuff. His fastball will get all the way up to 100 miles an hour every now and then. 101. His average fastball 97. He also features a curveball and a really good changeup. This is the first look for the Tigers at Ventura.
He's only 23 years old, out of Samana in the Dominican Republic. Davis leads it off for Detroit, and he looks at a heater inside at high, 1-0.
Just turned 23 on June 3rd, but he looks like he's about 16 years old.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Very youthful look. And he pours in a fastball at 95 right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Real nice, easy delivery.
Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. Well, you talk about that easy delivery. When he first got to pro ball and A ball, they said that because he could throw so hard, he just overthrew the baseball all the time, and has refined that delivery over the years. Much more fluid now. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Escobar has it there. Davis is out, 1 away.
Let's take a look at the Kansas City Royals starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they've got Gordon, they've got Dyson, they've got Aoki. At the shortstop position, they've got Escobar, 986 fielding percentage. That leads all shortstops. Infante at second, Hosmer at first. Moustakas anchored over at third, and the very talented Salvador Perez is their catcher this evening.
1 out for Ian Kinsler, batting in the 2 spot here tonight. He was 1 for 3 in the opener last night. Kinsler has hit safely in his last 3. And Ventura throws a strike on the outer edge at 97 miles an hour. He can really bring it. In fact, last year he was clocked at over 102 miles an hour, the fastest recorded pitch by a starting pitcher last year. That one missed high at 99.
Every now and then he will overthrow, as he did right there at 99, and an indication of that is where the ball ended up. It was up and in against Ian Kinsler.
A little bit low and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here are the starters. Fastball velocity is 96.6 for Ventura, who leads the current list. The chopper slowly toward the third baseman, cut off by Moustakas, who throws him out.
He's got a power arm, as we have well documented, but in his last start he did very well in that outing. He had 13 ground ball outs, only 3 strikeouts, and that's one of the things that they're trying to encourage Ventura into doing more of. Pitching to a little bit more contact. You don't have to strike out every hitter, but when you throw 100 miles an hour, that's usually your tendency. You're always going to try to overpower the opposition, but every now and then a little bit less is better.
Well, here is Cabrera now. Power against power here. Miguel had his 9-game hitting streak snap last night, and he looks at ball 1 outside. Miggy was 0 for 2 in the ball game, batting .322. He's knocked in 55 this season. 1-0 pitch is scattered foul back into the seats. So we see the mid to upper 90s fastball here early on from Ventura. Taking on Cabrera here with the bases empty. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Outstanding curveball there thrown by Ventura. Fastball has gotten all the way up to 99, and he showed the same arm speed on this particular pitch, which was a curveball, but it got up there at 83 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss, and he does it again and strikes out Cabrera. All he can do is look back at Perez as if to say, wow. No score as we go to the top of the second here at Comerica. Game 2 in this 4-game series. Top 2 teams in the Central separated by 1/2 game. Scherzer had a 1-2-3 first. And he delivers a strike to Billy Butler, who starts things off here in the second. It'll be Butler, Gordon, and Perez. And after a slow start this year, Butler's starting to come on now. He had a big game last night, including a bases-loaded double, which knocked in 3. Ball inside, 1-1.
You knew Billy would pick it up. He's been too good a hitter since he's been in the big leagues.
Butler now enjoying a 6-game hitting streak. Scherzer ready with the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Butler, who came in tonight hitting .321 with men in scoring position. Butler this year has knocked in 31. Swing and a miss. Here's how good the Royals are going right now. They have 4 starters tonight that have at least 6-game hitting streaks going. And Butler is one of them. Max Scherzer has a way of shutting down hitting streaks. Here's the 2-2. Just off the plate, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Not a given that you're going to get a fastball from Max Scherzer in this particular count. He has 3 other pitches that he has supreme confidence in. That could be the slider. It could be the curveball, maybe even the changeup.
Line to right field, sinking, and it's going to drop base hit and roll all the way by J.D. Martinez. It'll go to the wall. Butler is on his way to second, and he will stop there. So Martinez playing for Torrey Hunter tonight, who came out with a leg problem last night, and that ball just scooted right by him.
He decided to throw Butler a 3-2 fastball that kind of leaked right back over the heart of the plate. Billy didn't hit it particularly hard, but J.D. Martinez probably a little bit too aggressive with Butler running. That is a single that was turned into a double.
And so Butler now is at second base.
Anybody else running but Butler, and he would be standing on third base.
Yeah, no doubt. That is a single and an error on that play. E9. Here's Alex Gordon. Ball outside. Gordon batting .286. Good numbers against Max Scherzer. .387 overall. And the Royals have the game's first scoring opportunity. Now the 1-0. High towering fly ball deep into right field. Martinez back to the track, to the wall. He looks up, and that ball is out of here, gone. Alex Gordon hit a monster shot to right center field, and Butler will score ahead of him. Boy, these Royals swinging it. Number 8 for Gordon.
Gordon got himself a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Looked like he was anticipating that he was going to get that pitch. Didn't help that it was right down the middle, but he didn't miss it.
So after a 1-2-3 first inning, Scherzer allows a single and a 2-run shot, and here is Salvador Perez. Strike 1 on Perez. So now Gordon is up to 406 versus Max with 3 home runs. There's a check swing strike on Perez. 0-2 the count on the KC catcher. He also hits well against Max, .381. And Scherzer missed inside. 10-game hitting streak right now for Salvador Perez. He's given time as he steps out. 2 out of 4 last night for Perez before he was taken out of the game with a few innings left in the contest last night. Now the 1-2. Bouncing in, and Vila somehow got a hold of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the Royals, who came in with an 8-game hitting streak, 11-3 in the month of June, already with a 2-run shot from Gordon here in the second. Outside, the count fills now 3-2. Waiting on deck is Mike Moustakas. Scherzer regroups, and here's the 3-2 pitch. Walked him. So the first 3 Royals reach here in the second. Time now for the Bernstein advantage here tonight. And, well, Max has the Bernstein advantage over Mike Moustakas in his career.
Lots of off-speed stuff thrown to Moustakas, whether it's a slow curveball or the changeup. Moustakas has not been able to pick up those pitches from Max, and an occasional fastball up in the strike zone. Not much success for Moustakas.
He was 0 for 3 last night, had a sacrifice, though, and knocked in a run with a ground ball. And he looks at a strike called on the outer edge. And Moustakas now having a little chat with Tom Hallion. 174 batting average for Moustakas. Moustakas did a lot of work in the offseason, and the hope was that he was going to come to spring camp this year, then in the early part of the season, really kind of a new player offensively, because they know what he can do when he's going good.
He spent some time in Venezuela playing winter ball. Their hitting coach at the beginning of the year, Pedro Gofol, was down in the Dominican, and he encouraged Moustakas to come down there and work on his swing. But it hasn't really translated into favorable numbers yet for Moustakas.
Well, back in 2012, 20 home runs. You see the average steadily declining as well. And this season, he got out to a slow start. In the month of April, hit just 149.
They sent him down to the minors this year.
It was back on May 22nd. He spent about a week down there, a little more than a week. Here's the 1-2, and it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Scherzer allowing a single, a homer, and a walk to start things off here in the second. Alcides Escobar waiting on deck. And the 2-2. Outside and high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Max again going full.
It's the third batter in a row that Max has had a full count on. Check that, 3 of the 4 batters in this inning he has gone 3-2 on.
3-2 pitch. Driven high in the air down the right field line. That one is going deep to the corner, and that ball is a home run. Moustakas with a 2-run shot. Second home run of the inning for Kansas City. 4-0 Royals. It'll bring Jeff Jones out. After a snappy 10-pitch first inning, Scherzer was looking sharp tonight, but the Royals, other ideas here in the second.
Max decided to go with a changeup on the 3-2 pitch to Moustakas, and he got too much plate with it, and Moustakas, just like Alex Gordon, got underneath it and had enough to drive it into the right field seats for a 2-run shot.
That one hanging out down the right field line, and fair. As the Royals now jump out to a 4-0 advantage. Their second home run of the inning, and here is Alcides Escobar. That was number 7 for Moustakas. Escobar, 2 hits, 2 runs scored last night. Well, for the Royals this year, 4 seems to be the magic number. When they score at least 4 runs, they are 31-4 this year.
Especially with their pitching staff. They've got one of the best staffs in baseball.
1-1 is swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alcides Escobar. He was batting 9th last night. Ned Yost has him 8th here tonight with Gerard Dyson batting 9th. Here's the 1-2. I mean, the Royals were going so bad for a stretch. There were some people whispering about, well, is Ned Yost going to make it?
That's right.
You know, how long is he going to stick around? Will they make a move? And all of a sudden, the Royals have gotten red hot. It's slapped into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Escobar is aboard.
Well, the move that they made is they basically reassigned their hitting coach, Pedro Grifol, and they took their third base coach, Dale Swaim, and they put him as the hitting instructor. And since that day, well, the numbers don't lie. A lot of that credit needs to go to Dale Swaim, there's no doubt. But the Royals players knew they had to step up when they did make that particular change. They were not performing very well.
So here's the breakdown on Max. After 35 pitches, he has not recorded an out here in the second.
Escobar has 18 steals this year. He's only been caught once. And in the last 2 years, nobody has a better success rate as far as the percentage is concerned than Escobar. He's been that good.
Gerard Dyson playing out in center field tonight. Ball one way inside. First time this year, Scherzer has allowed 2 homers in a game, and they've come in 1 inning. 2-run shot by Gordon, 2-run shot by Moustakas. Escobar 18 steals and 19 tries this year. Checked it, and a strike called by Tom Hallion. 1-1 on Dyson. Not a whole lot of power to speak of. No homers this year. He's knocked in 6. But he's been swinging a hot bat just like the rest of the Royals. 348 over his last 10 games.
For whatever reason, his number is a lot better on the road than they are at home. He's a different player when they leave Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Outstanding speed. He'll be tough to double up if he does hit something on the ground.
Well, they have a couple of guys who can run and get it in that Kansas City outfield and center. Kane last night, Dyson tonight. Now Max will throw back in a close play, first base. Escobar right now is 3rd in the American League in steals with 18. Stretching his lead. And he drops down a bunt. Oh, this is going to be a tough play. Scherzer on the bare hand, and it is in time for the out. Dyson doesn't like the call, and Ned Yost is loitering around the dugout. Now he's going to come out. And we'll see if they challenge this play.
There's Don Wakamatsu. They're going to challenge it.
And Yost has given the thumbs up sign, so they will challenge whether or not he was out.
It's a real nice bunt by Dyson. I didn't think Max had a shot at making it this close with the speed of Dyson, but Max took his time, barehanded the ball, took 1 step toward first base, and fired a strike over to Miguel. Really nice stretch by Miggy as well.
Yeah, when that ball hit the ground, I thought, well, Max, you better eat this. But he made that extremely close. Out is the signal or the call on the field right now. We'll see if that will stand. If it does, that will be 5 consecutive base runners reaching here in the second against Max Scherzer. Call on the field is out at first base. There it looked like he might have been safe. It's funny because the umpires on the field right now are looking at the replays up on the big screen here.
I guess they really have no say in what they're seeing in New York, so they might as well take a peek to see what the people in New York are looking at.
Two-run shots by Gordon and Moustakas making it 4-0. Escobar then singled, and Dyson dropped on a beauty of a bunt down the third base line. Initially called out. Foot hit the bag, I think, before the ball hit the back of the glove. I think it looked like he was safe from that angle. But we shall see. They are still looking at the different replays that they have available to them in New York in the command center. And again, they rotate umpiring crews through there throughout the course of the season. So they are major league umpires looking at the replays. And it looks like they have a decision. Safe. So Dyson will get an infield hit, bunt single.
And it appears they got the call right.
Yeah, I think they did. And again, that's what replay's for, to get it right. So now the Royals have two men on. Still nobody out in this inning. They've got the top of the lineup coming up, Aoki. He grounded out on the first pitch of this ball game. Scherzer could use another one of those right now. And he drops down a bunt. It'll go foul down the third base line. 6 bunt hits this year for Aoki. He was looking for another one. This has really turned into a very tough inning for Scherzer. "29 pitches already in this inning. Here's the 0-1. Instead, he'll bluff back to second.
Don't know if Escobar will entertain the thought of stealing third base here with Aoki up, but if he does get Aoki out, when Infante's in that batter's box, both he and Dyson have tremendous speed.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Earlier in the year, the Royals, they were still running the bases aggressively, but they were not getting any kind of offensive production from the middle of their order. But now that Billy Butler and Gordon and Hosmer have all gotten hot at the same time, this is a very dangerous offense.
It's amazing when you get guys, 3 or 4 guys that really get hot at the same time. Trickle down effect in the entire lineup. All these guys have a pretty decent hitting streak, or at least most of them do, coming into this game.
Hitting is contagious.
2-1 on Nori Aoki. Single by Escobar, bunt single by Dyson, following the two-run shots already hit in this inning. And the 2-1. 3-1. Max really laboring now. Infante waiting on deck. I mean, it's one thing to have a long inning and throw a lot of pitches. He has thrown 32 in this inning and has not recorded an out yet. KC 4 runs on 5 hits.
If he loses Aoki here, Tiger's going to have to get somebody up in that bullpen.
Soft little looper hit toward right field. It's going to drop. Base hit. Everybody moves up. It's another hit for the Royals, and they blow to the bases. Well, here are our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Frozen Strawberry Lemonade, only at McDonald's. I'm going to go with Alex Avila tonight.
And JD Martinez, big grand slam in last night's contest. I've got him.
Eugenio Suarez is the selection of the crew tonight. First things first, Scherzer needs to get out of this inning to keep this manageable.
Well, he may have to start off Infante with an off-speed pitch. If he throws him a fastball, Infante will not miss it.
This is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Infante flied out his first time up. Out in front, 0-1.
Real good changeup there at 84 miles an hour.
There they are. They're loaded up. Escobar, Dyson, and Aoki. Now Max ready with the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Now it's 0-2 on Infante. Seven-game hit streak for Infante. Homered in last night's ball game. He spent parts of 8 years of his major league career right here in Detroit with the Tigers. Now the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Inning started with a single by Butler. He advanced to second when the ball was misplayed by Martinez in right. Gordon, a 2-run shot. Walk to Perez. Moustakas, 2-run shot. And then 3 straight hits to load the bases. Driven to left center field. That ball is going to get down. Fielded by Jackson. 2 runs will score. Infante fell behind in the count, 0-2, and he singles in 2 more.
Something else that the Royals have been doing during this 8-game win streak, they've been scoring runs in bunches. They don't just score 1 and 2 runs in the inning. They're putting up 4 spots, and in this case they have put up a 6th spot here in the 2nd inning.
Escobar and Dyson come around to score. Aoki gets to third. 32 RBIs now for Omar Infante, and still nobody out as we bat around here in the 2nd.
Scherzer was able to get ahead of Infante, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and then he tried to sneak a fastball by him.
Strike 1 to the outer edge to Eric Hosmer.
It's been a long time since we've seen Max Scherzer have an inning like this.
Sure has. I mean, Max right now at 38 pitches in this inning. And not a single out has been recorded. Hosmer struck out to end the 1st. Little chopper right in front of the plate. Scherzer will go to first base. They'll get the out there. The run will score. Aoki comes in. That's the first out of the inning. RBI for Hosmer. Seven 0 Royals. Hosmer's 35th RBI. Here's Billy Butler. Butler had a single to start the inning. Infante at second with 1 out. This will be the 40th pitch in this inning coming up. Up and in to Butler, 1-0. Well, quite a departure from the last start that Scherzer put together, his first complete game. He was able to knife right through the Chicago White Sox lineup, gave up just 3 hits on that day. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers just now getting somebody warming up in the bullpen. That would be left-hander Phil Koch. Now Max ready with the 2-0 pitch. Butler shoots it foul, back out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike on Billy Butler. 321 with men in scoring position this year. Royals tonight trying to win their 9th consecutive game, and if they do, they will move into first place in the Central. They've got the city of KC excited about baseball again with the run that they've been on.
Tigers have been in first place every single day of this year.
And the 2-1. 3-1. Here's what it looks like. Cleveland, don't forget about them. I mean, they're 2.5 out.
They've won 10 straight games at home. Tigers go there when they leave here on Thursday. I guess we got a pennant race, partner.
Yes, we do. Here's the 3-1. And it's a strike call. 3-2 on Butler.
And front door breaking ball there. Stayed up and in on Billy. Billy didn't like the call by Tom Hallion, but Tom Hallion obviously has the final say.
Scherzer twice this year has given up 10 or more hits. Double digits twice. He's already given up 7 here. And the 3-2. That'll get back out of play. So any way you slice it now, the Tigers bullpen will be counted on tonight to be sure. That's 55 pitches now for Max. 45 of which have come in this half inning. Hence Phil Koch heating up. Three-two. Another foul. Can you remember ever seeing a pitcher throw 50 pitches in an inning?
I really can't.
I can't either. I'm trying to think, but we're getting pretty close right now.
I mean, Jeff Jones has already gone out and given him a breather. If they want him to stay in, Avila might have to go out after this particular batter and talk to him just to give him a little bit more of a breather. Max season high in giving up runs in any game is 7. He's done that here in the 2nd.
Ground ball left side. Easy hop there for Castellanos. Infante will hold, and there are 2 gone. So Butler is out 5-3. He's going to bring up Gordon.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and they jumped on Max early. It was Gordon with a 2-run shot to right field, and he continued his torrid pace against Max in his career. That's his 3rd homer in his career against Max.
Royals got 7 runs in this inning in freaky fast fashion. Here's a ball low to Gordon. .289 batting average. He's hit 8 home runs now.
Tigers have had a lot of success this season against Gordon. It goes back to last season. Most of their starters, they've gotten them out with a lot of slow stuff. Good changeups, good breaking balls. There's a good curveball right there.
Remarkably, here is the 50th pitch of the 2nd inning for Max. And it's a strike on the outer edge. 1-2. And Gordon waiting on a 1-2 offering. And he got him, strike 3. That will end the inning. But boy, what an inning it was for the Royals. 7 runs on 7 hits, and Ventura, the young rookie, has a nice little cushion to work with. By Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram Trucks. Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. And by Jolly Time Micro Popcorn, the ultimate theater-style butter, microwave butter popcorn. Well, the Tigers have a somewhat sizable hole to dig out of right now. A couple of home runs. Moustakas hit one out. Gordon hit one out. And as a result, it is 7-0.
51 pitches thrown.
51 in that inning, 61 total for Max. And Ventura back to the mound now, missing low to Victor Martinez.
Don't know quite the number, but I remember in Boston when Valverde was here, he had one inning where he threw about 45, 50 pitches in an inning.
Yeah, I was thinking of the same thing. We were trying to look that up. That's really the only one that I can think of that even really has come close.
And he wasn't the same after that year.
Well, Lorenzo Cain has taken over in right field. It looked like Aoki hurt himself sliding into home plate. And he scored a run on the ground ball by Hosmer. So there is Cain. You got Dyson still in center. And you've got Gordon in left.
And a tremendously athletic outfield that the Kansas City's boasts these days with those 3 guys you just mentioned.
Ventura ready with the 1-2. Grounded back up the middle into center. And a base hit for Victor Martinez.
And Victor came in at .335, leading the American League in hitting. Somewhat beat the shift there on a breaking ball thrown by Ventura.
Victor just hits anyone. That's his 3rd hit in the series.
He has been in that zone all year long.
Here's J.D. Martinez playing right field tonight. Torrey getting the night off after coming out early with a leg problem yesterday. And Ventura pours in a fastball to 96 in for a strike. There's Mr. Hunter getting the evening off this evening.
Might be a good night for Torrey to have off. With all the offense displayed so far by the Kansas City Royals, that hamstring wouldn't get any better.
No balls, 2 strikes on J.D. Martinez. Leadoff single by Victor. J.D. now has hit safely in 6 in a row. He hit the grand slam in the 9th inning last night, which really made the game interesting. That's grounded foul. Tigers came really within a couple of base runners and bringing the tying run to the plate in what was a blowout game. And Martinez, in his time here in Detroit, after being picked up in April, has done pretty good work off the bench.
Yeah, Tigers made that game seem last night with the score a lot closer than it really was.
And the 0-2. Ball high. Heater at 97 misses up. Yordano Ventura just turned 23, a native of the Dominican Republic. Voted the Royals minor league pitcher of the year last year. Got a call up at the end of last season. Opportunity to pitch in the big leagues. Chopped foul.
Here's a Torrey injury last night. Base hit the opposite way, appeared to pull that right hamstring as soon as he left the batter's box. Well, actually, they're calling it a cramp, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. That's driven down the left field line. That'll get down and go to the wall. Victor is on his way to third base. J.D. Martinez with a double. The Tigers now have second and third, nobody out.
Yeah, both of the hits that Ventura has given up here in the bottom half of the second inning have come on breaking balls. And Victor Martinez hit one right back up the middle, and he hung a breaking ball to J.D. Martinez, which he hit down in the left field corner.
Didn't quite bury that one, did he?
He did not.
So Martinez now makes it second and third. Here is Castellanos.
He's got a catcher behind the plate in Salvador Perez, who is very young, but he's also very smart and a good catcher. He will continue to have Ventura use all of his pitches in this game despite what the score says.
Ground ball to short. Bobbled by Escobar. Everybody is safe.
He got too cute. Routine ground ball with Castellanos running, and Escobar commits his 5th error of the season.
And that'll give the Tigers their first run. 7-1 ball game now. That cannot make Ned Yost very happy here. I mean, that's a routine ground ball.
No doubt.
And it leads to a Tigers run, and who knows, maybe a big inning now. E6. Castellanos gets an RBI on that play. Run would have scored even if the ball was fielded cleanly.
This Kansas City Royals outfield plays as shallow as any outfield in the American League. Dyson in center field, very shallow. Kane is also shallow, as is Gordon in left field.
There's the bouncer back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Here comes J.D. Martinez, and he will score, and the Tigers coming right back. It's 7-2. So the crowd finally has something to cheer about here. Jackson gets his 20th RBI. Single, double, error, single, and the Tigers' first 4 have reached. Still nobody out. And here is Alex Avila. .220 batting average for Avila. Ventura has given 2 of the runs back that he got in the top of this inning. Got 7 of them to work with. Strike on the outer edge, 0-1. 300 over his last 10 games for Avila. And his grounded foul. Well, you're not kidding out in center field. I mean, it's as if Dyson is almost challenging Avila to hit the ball over his head.
It's one thing to have confidence in going back on a ball, and then it's just crazy where he's playing right now. That's 420 behind him. He's probably playing at about 300 feet in the outfield right now, his depth.
Now, he can run and get it, but boy, is that awfully shallow. Avila waiting on an 0-2. Ball high, 1-2 on Alex. Waiting on deck, Eugenio Suarez. All started with a single by Victor Martinez. Now Ventura ready with the 1-2. Got him, strike three on the outer edge. Avila didn't like it, but he's got no choice but to walk back to the bench. He will need that call for his pitcher.
Second strikeout of the night for Ventura. He got Miggy on a curveball in the first inning.
First out of the inning now. Suarez will step in. And that's in there for a strike. Had a research team look it up, Rod, in that Valverde outing you were talking about. Valverde threw 48 pitches.
48.
Yeah, he came close. Now he threw 60 to get 4 outs, but 48 of those came in 1 inning. That was in Boston back in 2010.
He wasn't the same after that particular year either.
Didn't seem like it at all.
Right around the All-Star break.
2 on 1 out. Tigers have gotten 2 back here in the second. And Suarez backs out of there. Eugenio Suarez batting .346. He's hit 3 home runs already in his very young big league career. Fouled straight back. Suarez on the homestand is 4 for 10. And the 2-2 right back up the middle. Looks like a double play. 4-6-3, and it is. That'll end the inning. Tigers show some life, though. They get a couple of runs back. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
post-game summary. The Kansas City Royals picking up right where they left off last night. They scored 7 runs in the second inning. A 2-run home run by Alex Gordon, a 2-run home run by Mike Moustakas, and a 2-run single by the former Tiger Omar Infante, who has driven in 6 runs in the first 2 games of this series.
Well, the Tigers got 2 of those back. 7-2 ball game now as we crawl to the 3rd inning, and back to the hill goes Max Scherzer.
Max needed only 10 pitches to retire the side in order in the first and threw 51 in the second.
Salvador Perez leads it off, and he looks at ball 1 outside. The last Tigers pitcher to throw 50 or more pitches in 1 inning, that's not going to surprise you. It's Steve Sparks, a knuckleballer. 2001. He was the last Tiger to do that. He threw 51 pitches.
I wonder when the last conventional pitcher threw 51 pitches in an inning. It doesn't happen.
Well, ask and you shall receive. Here's the 1-1. Sawed his bat off, rolled to third base. Castellanos, nicely done to get the out at first base.
And bat was broken by Perez. Nice backhand by Castellanos. Able to throw the ball across the diamond. Looked like Miggy had to help him a little bit with a pick out of the dirt.
Just ahead of Perez. That'll bring up Mike Moustakas. The last conventional pitcher, so to speak, to throw 50 actually happened this inning. It was a Royal, James Shields.
James Shields.
Believe it or not, on April 12th this year against Minnesota. A 50-pitch inning. Balled inside, 2 balls and no strikes. So you've got Scherzer and Shields each this year with a 50-pitch inning, which is really odd.
Both guys will hit the free agent market after this year is over.
Moustakas looks at a strike.
If the Tigers bullpen was in better shape than it is right now, I don't know if Brad Ausmus would have left him out there for 51, but their bullpen has been battered a little bit in this homestand.
Check swing, strike call, 2-2. Yeah, it certainly had to play into the decision. You hate to see a guy that's been at the top of your rotation labor that long. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Moustakas is out of there, 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here it is 7-2 in favor of the Royals. They got all 7 of the second. Alcides Escobar stands in. Bouncing ball right side, and Kinsler has that one. And Scherzer rights the ship. It's a 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. Tuesday brought to you by Meyer. Enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would love. All right, we'll see if the Tigers now can continue the comeback. They got a couple of runs in the bottom of the second. Now they've got the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the third. Scherzer needed just 9 pitches to get through the top of the inning. Rajai Davis looks at ball one. Getting word on Nori Aoki. He left with discomfort in his left groin. That's why he is no longer in the game. Bouncing ball towards short. Escobar almost took too long with it. One gone. He's going to bring up Kinsler. 5-3 ground out for Kinsler in his first at bat. 287 this year now for the Tigers' second baseman. Ian started in the All-Star voting leading at second base. Right now he is second behind Robinson Cano. Miggy's still leading first baseman. Got to get out and start voting for Kinsler. There's a ball outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the 2-0 offering. Swing and a miss and a big rip there.
Not to your advantage if you take that big a rip on a fastball at 96. Usually all you have to do is get the bat from point A to point B and touch it, and you allow Ventura to supply all the power. Big swings don't work against hard throwers.
And a wave and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler. Chopper to third. Moustakas has it go off the glove. Kinsler is on. 1 out base runner. It's a base hit for Kinsler.
And Moustakas felt like the only way that he could make the play is by charging it once he got there. He didn't field it cleanly. Ball rolled right up his arm.
Here is Cabrera, who struck out on a couple of really nasty breaking balls at the end of that first inning. Kinsler now has the 4th Tigers hit of the evening. Bouncing ball to second. There's a 4-6-3 double play. Second double play turned behind Ventura in as many innings. No runs, 1 hit. Tigers leave none, and we go to the 4th at Comerica Park. To the top of the fourth here at the ballpark, and those Tigers fans are busy filling out their all-star ballots. Kinsler, there you go. Cabrera. And Scherzer back to the hill now as it's fouled straight back by Gerard Dyson, who leads it off here in the fourth. Here are the all-star leaders in the American League. Miggy is leading the way at first base.
I guess it was announced that Wieters is going to undergo Tommy John surgery, or has he already had it?
All I heard was that he was going to have it. I don't know that he actually had it today.
It's a tough break for the Baltimore Orioles, but he'll come back as good as new. Doesn't take position players as long to come back as it does the pitchers from that surgery.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a strike call to the outer edge. He's punched out of there by home plate umpire Tom Hallion.
Well, apparently Max has made an adjustment. Last inning was a very good inning. He needed only 9 pitches, and he's off to a good start here in the fourth.
The most emphatic strike 3 call in the big leagues, Tom Hallion.
He gets after it, doesn't he?
He does, man. Only though until it's strike 3. He doesn't obviously do that earlier in the count. But he lets you know. Lorenzo Cain batting for the first time. Took over for Nori Aoki. Aoki sliding into home plate, scoring a run back in the second. Hurt his groin, so he's out for the rest of the night. Cain had a big night last night. 3 hits, and he also made a great diving play. Ball outside, 1-1. Scherzer threw 10 in the first, 51 in the second, and then 9 pitches in the third. And he hit him. So Cain walks off the bench and he gets plunked.
It's a breaking ball that stayed up and in. Cain could not get out of the way. And it didn't hurt very bad. It's only 81 miles an hour.
One out base runner now for KC.
Easy for me to say it didn't hurt very
exactly.
bad. But I have been hit before. So
yeah. You do have a basis.
Yeah, I know. I've been hit.
You can look back and think back to some of those. Who was the waving a miss there? I mean, is there one hit by pitch that you really remember, maybe from a guy that threw really hard?
I'm trying to think of who hit me. It was in Double-A one year in Waterbury. And it was the Cincinnati Reds team. It wasn't Norm Charlton. He was in Double-A that year, but they had a right-hander on that team that was a former #1 draft choice. I don't remember his name, but he hit me in the head with about 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Right in the helmet?
Right in the helmet.
No kidding.
Right in the helmet.
Come out of the game?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, that's scary. No balls, 2 strikes on Omar Infante. Omar had a 2-run single in the second, 1 for 2. 7-run second remains the difference in this game for the Royals. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Well, the old Max is back now. That is his 5th strikeout of the ball game.
I don't know why anybody would throw Omar Infante anything other than off-speed pitches. And because you think you got him set up for a fastball when you get ahead of him with 2 strikes, as Max did last time up, and he whistled the ball right back up the box for 2 runs driven in on a 1-2 count.
Here's Eric Hosmer. Hosmer hit one back to the mound, but it got a run in. Scored Aoki back in the second. Now the 1-0. Strike call. The count evens up at 1-1 on Hosmer. He was a high school teammate of Tigers third baseman Nick Castellanos. They both played at American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida. Hosmer played first, Nick played third. Now time called as Scherzer was about to bring it home. Bet you those two guys must have terrorized some high school pitching in their day.
Hosmer was a senior, I think, when Nick was a sophomore.
Sophomore, correct. So they were a few years apart. Ooh, that one just missed, and the count goes to 2-1 on Hosmer.
And dangerous count here for Max if you decide to throw Hosmer another fastball. He might not hit it, but he's one of those guys that really doesn't get cheated on his fastball in these particular counts.
Scherzer now standing at 83, and again that 51 pitch second resulted in 7 runs for the Royals. That is hit a mile high into center field, not deep at all. Jackson coming in. Austin is under it, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit batter, 1 man left. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Well, Victor Martinez, when you look at some of his averages up until last year through last season, he averaged about 13 homers, 69 RBIs a year. And well, look at the jump of the projected numbers this year.
He couldn't have done it at a better time.
42 home runs, 111 RBIs. Yeah, he's on the market.
And also leading the American League in batting.
So it's Martinez, and Castellanos facing the right-hander, Yordano Ventura. And the first pitch is inside.
Seems kind of odd that you would play any hitter to pull with a guy that can throw 100 miles an hour, but that's exactly what the Kansas City Royals are doing here with their shift on Victor. And Victor singled up the middle his last time up.
He'll pull this one into the shift, but it's going to die into right field, base hit. And Victor 2 for 2, doing what he does best. Hey fans, don't forget to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1984 championship season. On June 30th, the Tigers battle the A's at 7:08. First 20,000 fans receive an 84 Tigers replica road jersey. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. What great memories. The Tigers beating the Padres in the World Series.
Was that Tony Gwynn who made that final out right there?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it wasn't Tony Gwynn.
It looked like his swing.
Tony was on that team and
passed away yesterday.
Yeah, what tragic news. There's the World Championship banner. Of course, last time the Tigers won a World Series.
That was Tony Gwynn who made that final out.
I can tell you who caught it. So could you.
Earned it.
Yeah,
Larry.
I can still hear Ernie Harwell's call. And the Tigers are the champions of the world.
You sound just like it.
Here's the 1-0.
Is that all he did? Got out?
That one is going deep into right field, and it's going to be caught at the wall.
That is the second really nice catch Kane has made in this series.
Whoa. And they almost turned a double play on that. Kane stretched out last night, makes a leaping catch tonight.
He tipped his hat after that catch last night as well. He got over there, and what he was able to do is able to time his jump perfectly because he got back to the wall. It allowed him to elevate without jumping into the wall. Then he comes up, fires back to first base, nearly gets Victor Martinez.
It's pretty good concentration right here.
Especially when you can take your eye off the ball that late and then still find the baseball and find the wall. It's not an easy play.
It was close at first. Ned Yost thought about coming out to challenge it, but he was told forget about it. Tip of the cap from Lorenzo Cain. Castellanos looks at a strike. Nick reaching on an error in his first at bat by the shortstop Alcides Escobar, which was part of that 2-run inning. Sliced right to first. That's going to be a double play.
If the Tigers didn't have bad luck right now, they would have no luck at all.
Well said. 4 in the books. And it's still 7-2 KC. Brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, the official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Oh boy, how good is that look?
What they got? Ice cream?
Yeah, you got the, is that strawberry shortcake and everything over there?
You got a little sweet tooth, don't you?
A little whipped cream. I got a huge sweet tooth. Wow, those look really good. Thanks for showing that to us, fellas. Knowing that we can't have one and all. Big old strawberries. All right, here we go. Scherzer back to the hill now as we go to the 5th inning. Billy Butler leads it off for the Royals. And he strokes one to center field. What's new? Second hit of the game for Butler. Leadoff man on for the Royals.
It really doesn't matter what Billy Butler is doing as far as swinging the bat when he sees the Tigers. if he's doing poorly, his bat just simply perks up. He's got outstanding career numbers against a good Tigers pitching staff.
4+ tonight for Max, and that hit was his 8th allowed so far in this game. Gordon 2-run shot in the 2nd inning. Way inside, 1-0. Well, they had Coke warming up in the 2nd, and had Scherzer not been able to get out of that inning, it really would have been a long night for the Tigers bullpen. But Max has been able to at least straighten it out a little bit. He's thrown 86 to this point. And it'll bounce in again. 2 balls, no strikes. Coke is again warming up in the bullpen. The home run by Gordon back in the 2nd was his 8th of the year. He'll rip that one down the right field line. It's going to go to the corner. Butler is on the move. He'll get to third base, and Gordon has himself another double, his 21st of the year. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. So the Tigers in danger again of giving up some more runs here, down 7-2 in the 5th.
Kansas City Royals have 3 players on their team that have 20 or more doubles. Escobar, Hosmer, and you just mentioned Gordon has 21.
Gordon through his career has been a doubles machine.
He's not still getting the recognition that he deserves in baseball, in my opinion.
Agreed. It's fouled out of play by Perez.
He's made an all-star team. He's won 3 consecutive Gold Gloves. You can't run on him from that left field position, and he puts up lots of good numbers in the extra base department. But outside of Kansas City, still somewhat unknown.
I wonder if it's because it took him a couple of years at the major league level to get his footing.
It's a great point.
And he was highly thought of coming out of the minor leagues. But it took a couple of years and a position change to get him going. A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Salvador Perez got to the big leagues and hit immediately. His first year in the majors, in half a season, hit .331.
And Rusty Kuntz, their first base coach, who was on that 1984 Tigers team, really helped Gordon make that transition seamlessly from a third baseman to a left fielder.
Strike called, 1-2.
And Rusty has been a really good base running instructor and also a good outfield instructor for a long, long time. And I've never heard one person say one bad word about Rusty.
Nope. Me either. Does a fabulous job. Infield in a couple of steps. They're not all the way in. Butler does not run all that well at third base.
And they're ahead by 5 as well. They won't be coming on contact.
Inside, backed him out of there, 2-2.
Perez is going to have to do his job by hitting something deep enough to the outfield or something that gets through the infield for Butler and to come home and touch home plate.
Seven runs, 9 hits, KC. 2 runs, 5 hits, Detroit. And the 2-2. Driven toward left field. Here comes Davis on the run. It's going to drop, base hit. That'll get a run in as Salvador Perez gets his first hit, first RBI of the night. Butler scores 8-2 Royals.
Here is our Nissan drive of the game. Moustakas stepped up in the 2nd inning after Alex Gordon had already hit a 2-run shot in that inning, and he homers against Max Scherzer.
That was after the 2-run shot by Gordon put the Royals on the board. And it looks like the night will finally come to an end for Max Scherzer, who will throw 93 pitches tonight. But Brad Ausmus has no choice but to go get him now.
His shortest outing of the year.
Wall side windows pitching change. Phil Coke comes sprinting in, and we shall return. Tag Detroit fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Hashtag Detroit fan photo. Well, the crowd tonight wasn't even able to settle into their seats, and the Royals put up 7 in the second inning. And they've led all the way tonight. Scherzer is out of the game. Phil Coke is in the game. Mike Moustakas the first man to face him. The Royals have 3 straight hits here in this inning. Single, double, single to add another run. They lead 8-2. And yes, they've gone double digits again. 10 hits in this ball game, 8 runs. Moustakas 2-run shot in the second. In there for a strike. 0-1 on Mike Moustakas. Ripped foul down the right field line. Moustakas starting to come on a little bit now after really a very difficult first couple of months of the year. He is hitting .333 over his last 8.
He demonstrated some real nice bat speed on that last fastball at 92 from Phil Coke. He turned on it. You got to go all the way back to the 2010 season, the last time Max Scherzer gave up 8 earned runs or more in a contest.
Way outside.
And 12 days after that, he had to go down to the minor leagues for a couple weeks. And when he got back, he was a different guy.
Scherzer gave up 10 in his start in Minnesota back in May of 2010. And tonight he was ambushed for 7 in the second inning. Another run here in the 5th, and the runners aboard are still his property. Bouncer foul down the first base line. Mike Moustakas was selected in the first round in 2007. He was the 2nd overall pick that year. Little chopper hit to the right side. Cabrera has it. And the one play he has is to tag the bag for the out. Runners advance. 1 out, second and third. Going to bring up Alcides Escobar. Single and a ground out tonight for Escobar. Infield in for the Tigers. Already down by 6. 8-2 is our score. Ground ball right to the shortstop. They're going to throw to third, and he is out at third base. Gordon came down the line a couple of steps. Suarez threw him out.
Good heads-up play by Suarez. It didn't appear that Gordon was coming on contact with the Tigers infield in, but once he took 2 steps down that line, he couldn't get back. Nice back shovel by Castellanos, and then reaching blindly behind him to apply the tag to Gordon.
Right there to make the call was Eric Cooper. So with 2 outs now, they'll bring up Jarrod Dyson, who has a single and a strikeout in this game. Coke trying to strand a couple of runners. Ball 1 to Dyson. Singled, scored a run in the second. Dyson trying to pick up a couple of runners here. He's not a big extra base threat. In fact, he has only 1 extra base hit all season. And that extra base hit was against the Tigers, a triple back in May in Kansas City.
You would think that his speed alone would get him more than that.
Hit the gap a couple of times, or not even with that speed getting to second base.
He's a great story. And wasn't drafted very high. As a matter of fact, drafted very late and beat all the odds to get to the big leagues.
1-1 sails inside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Dyson.
And speaking of the draft, the Tigers have inked their first round player this year, Derek Hill. He'll head down to Lakeland, Florida to start his minor league professional career.
Good luck to the young man. Looking forward to seeing him in future years.
David Chad, the director of scouting, was in our booth right after the draft, and he said that he was some kind of an athlete.
That's going to be a fair ball inside the bag at third. Perez rounding, he will score. Dyson halfway to second, puts on the brakes. It's an RBI single for Jarrod Dyson.
And Dyson was thinking too, but Escobar, who was on first base, retreated and did not try to stretch himself getting over to third base. Therefore, Dyson had to pull up.
Just out of the reach of Castellanos. 9-2, back up to a 7-run lead now for the Royals. 2 on 2 outs, and here is Lorenzo Cain, who was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Cain did not start the game. Aoki did in right field, but he left with a bad groin. In for strike 1. Max Scherzer gave up a single, a double, and another single to end his night here in the 5th inning. It's one of those nights that you kind of look back on and you wonder, well, how does that 7-run second happen? They've run into a red-hot Royals team who are swinging the bats as well as anybody in the big leagues. Cokes 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two men on. Escobar and Dyson. Here's the 1-1. Drilled foul.
What has J.D. Martinez done to Lorenzo Cain? Because Lorenzo Cain, playing center field last night, took a double away from J.D. Martinez, possible triple, and one of the better catches you'll see this year. And then it was J.D. Martinez again tonight, being robbed of a possible extra base hit from Lorenzo Cain.
No Christmas card this year for Cain. Certainly not from J.D.
No.
Tough luck in those two at bats for Martinez. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball left side. Cut off at third by Castellanos. Going to be late.
Lorenzo Cain needs to take Dyson out to dinner, because that speed of Dyson got Cain an infield single.
They are loaded up.
The only play really for Castellanos, his body is carrying him in that direction, and by the time he gets to Kinsler, Dyson had already slid and he was on his way up.
So they're loaded now, and Infante will step in. That's the 12th hit of the game now for the Royals.
They've been raking.
That they have. They had last night 17.
They've been absolutely raking.
They had a season high last night. And already up 7 runs. Here's Infante with the bases loaded. 17 knocks last night, already 12 more tonight. Eighth man to bat in the inning. They also hit around in the second when they scored their 7 runs. Coke ready with the 0-1. Infante takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Omar backs out of there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fonte had a 2-run single as part of the 7-run second, and his hitting streak now is 8 consecutive games. The Royals signed him in the offseason, and while he has solidified second base, he also gives Kansas City some postseason experience. He's been in the postseason 4 times in his career. In fact, a couple of World Series with Detroit.
He's also been a real nice mentor to the shortstop, Alcides Escobar. He follows Omar everywhere.
2-1 is low. 3-1 with no place to put Infante.
Yeah, they work out together. They go eat together. He has really showed the youngster Escobar how to carry himself every day as a big leaguer.
Omar was also an all-star for the first time in his career back in 2010 with Atlanta.
He was a utility player then.
He was. He hit .321. Here's the 3-1. He walked him. That's going to walk in a run. Base on balls for Infante. He's got 3 RBIs tonight, and the crowd getting a little bit upset. It is now 10-2. Jeff Jones will come out of the dugout. So Coke will get a visit from the Tigers pitching coach again for the 2nd time in the game. Now the Royals will bat around. Well, see the Tigers play the Royals tomorrow and Thursday. And by the way, you can get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all at a discounted price. We call it the Weekday Value Pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com if you'd like more information on how to save money on Tigers tickets. Weekday Value Pack. But warm and humid tonight, but nonetheless clear skies. The tarp was on the field before the game. There were some showers passing through, but
it's still 90 degrees.
It hasn't gone down, has it? Still 90. Here's Hosmer now with the bases loaded. Way inside, 1-0. But he can close the book on Max now. He is charged with all 10 runs in this game, and all of them are earned. Hosmer with a ground out and an RBI. 3-run 5th inning, and the Royals still batting. It's already the 4th at bat for Hosmer. Outside, 2-0. Tigers have more action in their bullpen now. And it's going to be Evan Reed. And the 2-0. Hosmer had a rip. 2-1. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Cope. Seven Royals had multi-hit games yesterday. 3 more already today as the hits just continue to pile up for this Kansas City offense. Rolled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hosmer. Kansas City actually came into this game with 1 more win on the season than the Tigers. Tigers held a half-game lead. Royals 37 wins, Tigers 36 wins. And then Yost and their ball club trying to win their 9th consecutive game here tonight. Here's the 2-2. Rolled foul again. Tigers actually just 1 game off the pace they established last year. They had 37 wins this time last year. And he stays alive. Hosmer just got a piece of it. Rolling it foul. 2 more games against the Royals here. Day games the next 2 days, and then it's on to Cleveland to start a road trip that's going to take him into Texas to take on the Rangers and the Astros.
It's a good thing that the Houston Astros have a covered facility. It'll be hot in Texas, as it always is in this time of year.
Another ground ball foul. Saw a shot of Sanchez there. Anibal will pitch the Thursday game against Danny Duffy. Tomorrow it's Drew Smiley, Jeremy Guthrie in game 3. Somehow, some way, the Tigers need to find a chance to slow this offense down.
Well, a good pitch game will do that. I mean, right now the Royals cooking on all cylinders, especially from an offensive standpoint. Their pitching's been pretty good all year. Hopefully Smiley can slow them down tomorrow afternoon.
Lifted foul down the left field line.
Hosmer giving Phil Koch a battle. That was a 96 well located fastball that somehow Hosmer got a piece of.
Phil came into the ball game after Butler singled, Gordon doubled, and Salvador Perez singled in a run. He got Moustakas on a ground out. RBI hit by Dyson. Bases loaded, walk to Infante. Inside, now the count is full at 3-2.
That was the 28th pitch that Phil Koch has thrown here in the 5th. And Ned Yo said he learned how to manage from Bobby Cox. And he spent about a decade on the staff of Bobby Cox in Atlanta.
And the 3-2. Hosmer shoots one to short. Leaping catch there by Suarez. Hit right on the money, and Suarez able to make the play to end the inning. So the Royals extend their lead. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Our score as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning here at the ballpark. And Yordano Ventura back of the hill. Austin Jackson leads it off and looks at strike one. So Ventura getting an awful lot of support tonight. They got 7 runs in the second, 3 in the fifth. AJ knocked one in with a base hit his last time up. Rolls this one right to Moustakas. And Jackson is out, 1 gone.
Well, in case you missed most of the action, we'll get you caught up with a little bit of it. It was 2-run home runs by Alex Gordon and Mike Moustakas. In the second inning, they put a 7 spot on the board against Max Scherzer. Tigers came back, scored a couple of runs in the second inning. Jackson with a base hit right back up the middle, but that lead got extended even further. This was the 8th run driven in the game by Salvador Perez, and that was the final pitch that Max threw this evening.
Here's Alex Avila. Ventura struck him out looking in his first at bat back in the second inning. Swing and a miss. They also play Avila to pull. Here's the 0-1. Checked it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila. 300 over his last 10 games. The Tigers, though, have not been able to get a whole lot going against Yordano Ventura. Royals are averaging about 3 runs per game for Ventura, which was the 3rd lowest run support for American League starters. That has changed significantly here today. They've gotten him 10 runs.
He's got real nice mound presence for a guy that just turned 23 years old. It's nice when you've got electric stuff. Fastball will get up to 100 miles an hour, but his demeanor, his aptitude, well beyond the tender age of 23.
The Royals signed him when he was 17 years old, and here's a good example of how you have to project, because Ventura, when he was signed, was 140 pounds at the age of 17. Now they list him at 180 right now.
That's soaking wet.
Yeah. But he had a strong arm even at that age of 17, and Only weighing $140.
Grew up idolizing, as you would imagine. And Pedro Martinez. They were similar in stature. Pedro had a huge arm, but Pedro had a plus changeup to go along with slider and the curveball. Ventura has a good curveball. His changeup is probably his third best pitch, but it is not a bad pitch for him when you can throw 97 miles an hour.
Tried to hit the outside corner at 98 and missed.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Yordano Ventura. He has touched 100 here today.
We mentioned last year he was clocked at 102.
Where does he get it from? 6 feet, 180.
We've had Joel Zumaya here in Detroit, and you can see where he got it. He was a big guy, big stocky build. He's going to get through Perez to the backstop, and Avila will move up.
You don't ever see Perez lazy behind the plate, but he was lazy on that last pitch.
What a no on Suarez. He bounced into a double play his first time up. He looks at a strike 1-1.
This is only Suarez's second at bat. Some of the Kansas City Royals have already had their fourth at bat today.
And it's been that kind of night. 7-run second, 3-run fifth. Ground ball left side, base hit. Avila coming to third. They're going to stop him there. Alex Gordon has that terrific throwing arm out there in the left. And a single for Suarez.
This is Ventura's first start against Tigers at any level. Never at A-ball, Double-A. In the minor leagues did he ever face a Tigers affiliate, so no one has seen him to this point. Usually, you'll go up against a minor league affiliate and you can get a scouting report from the Double-A manager. Some of the players possibly have faced him that were in the minors, maybe in the big leagues, but that's not the case with Ventura.
Yeah, somewhere along the line. Rajai Davis looks at a ball inside, 1-0.
Another reason why he has such great mound presence is he pitches in winter ball. There's some really good baseball played in Dominican Republic in October, November, December, even in the January.
Well, not only
what a balk.
Boy, that looked like a balk. It looked like he got his cleats caught. And Perez is going to go out now and try and slow him down. Not only, I guess, Rod, does winter ball, and you've been through this, provide good competition as we look at this again. No, he stepped off. But also the crowds really seem to get into it too, which adds to the high pressure.
They don't play. If you don't play well there, they will send you home. The crowd will send you home.
1-1 strike on Rajai Davis. And he bunts one down the third base line. No chance for anybody. And Ventura's looking at Perez. And the bases are loaded now.
We don't see Rajai Davis do this very often, but he did a very nice job here of getting the bunt down. It was only about 5 feet away from the catcher Perez, but Ventura got off the mound in such a hurry that he was going to beat the catcher to the ball anyway. Did you see how fast he got there?
Quickly. Extremely quickly. Well, this has got a chance to get somewhat interesting now because the Tigers' big hitters are coming up. The bases are loaded.
Talk about quick like a cat. And he's too little to be looking at Perez like that.
Yeah, he is. And Perez had no shot to beat him to that ball as quickly as he got to it. So they're loaded up now. Kinsler will stand in. 10-2. Royals have the lead. We're in the fifth.
And last time Ian was up, Ian got a couple of fastballs at 96 miles an hour. Took huge swings on those particular at bats, but he finally ended up getting a single.
Fouled back out of play. Tigers need a big hit here, and they got to keep the chain moving. It is 10-2. 6 for 12 in this game for the Royals with men in scoring position. Tigers not bad either, 3 for 6. Fouled away. 0-2 on Kinsler.
Ian got a hanging breaking ball there at 87 miles an hour, and he missed it, and he knows it.
Avila at third, Suarez at second, Davis at first. A walk and 2 hits in this inning. Here's the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, he touches triple digits. He just let that thing go. Pop up, shallow left. Gordon measuring it, and Avila's got nowhere to go because Gordon would have thrown him out.
Ventura has thrown a total of 65 pitches in this game, and 47 of the 65 have registered 95 miles an hour and above.
Fascinating there for a guy his size.
Well, Miggy's seen him a couple of times. He struck Miggy out with 2 really good breaking balls in the first, and then Miggy hit into a double play on a fastball 4.63 his second time up.
And Ventura missed the outside corner at 99. Cabrera this year, 394 with men in scoring position.
Miggy will not try to pull that fastball with that kind of velocity. He'll simply try to stay inside of it and barrel it up and find that right center field gap. He knows when he can pull the ball.
2-0 the count. Ten runs on 12 hits for the Royals. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. This inning scoring threat started with a walk to Avila, then 2 hits. And he missed, and now it's 3-0. Cabrera right now in the catbird seat with Victor Martinez on deck. Here's the 3-0. Way high. He walked it. That'll force in a run.
Exactly what Dave Island, their pitching coach, was talking about before the game today. And he's going to make a visit out to see Ventura. He's still at that stage where when he does get himself into trouble, he has to reach back and get 100 miles an hour. Well, in reality, 95, 96, well located, will get you out of the jam, but he's still very young, still learning how to maneuver his way out of jams.
Well, Saturday it's full night of MLB action, beginning with Baseball Night in America on Fox as Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers take on the Indians. Then the Rangers take on Mike Trout and the Angels over on Fox Sports 1. Our Major League Baseball doubleheader begins Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox and continues at 10 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Tigers trying desperately to get back into this game. They could do it with a big hit here by Martinez.
Here's a couple of other numbers that kind of indicate how young he is. He's not had any issues getting that first out of the inning, but getting that third out and getting out of the inning. Now the batting average is at 309 against Ventura.
.10-3 ball game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Martinez, 325 career with the bases loaded. In for a strike, 0-1.
I guess Dave Island got him to take a little off. That one's 99.
You need to back off, son.
And back off just a little bit. It is very impressive to watch someone with this kind of arm.
In the air, foul down the left field line. No balls, 2 strikes. Ventura hadn't pitched much on the road this year. In fact, his last 5 starts were at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. This is his first road start since May the 10th. And his teammates, who typically don't give him too many runs to work with, have given him 10 tonight. But he's on the cusp of giving some of those back here. Whoa, it's going to go to the backstop and roll right back to Perez. They'll throw to third, and he's going to be out.
You've got to be kidding me.
Seen it all now. I have literally seen it all. Suarez thrown out at third base. Thought that ball was going to give him a chance to score, and it came right back to Perez. Can you believe this? Is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in the Motor City, the Tigers are down 10-3. But, man, the rally was kind of short-circuited on a wild play.
The Royals, this is how good they're going. Now, this ball bounces right back to the catcher, Salvador Perez. And Suarez came down the line too far, and he is thrown out. But my question to you is, partner, how in the world do you not get a wild pitch on that?
That's a good point.
I mean, that's
with a little luck, I guess.
You won't see many pitches wilder than that one.
Unbelievable. And Perez had the presence of mind to field that ground ball off of the backstop and then just wheel and fire to third base. Moustakas right there waiting.
Well, that's how well things are going for the Kansas City Royals right now.
So the Tigers are down 10-3 as we go to the 6th. New Tigers pitcher is Evan Reed. He will take over and face Billy Butler to start things off, and it's ball 1. Wallside windows pitching change.
Evan's been roughed up lately. Yeah, you could take a peek at that ERA. It's risen all the way to 4.91.
Butler had a single back in the 5th. The Royals tonight have batted around twice in this game. And both times they scored quite a few runs. 7 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th. Butler, Gordon, Perez facing Reed. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss out in front that time. 1-2. Scherzer knocked out of the game in the 5th inning. Coke came on. Phil faced 6 batters and now gives way to Reed here in the 6th. And the 1-2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Evan Reed threw 20 pitches last night in the game against Kansas City, and he did not record an out.
He's back out there again tonight out of necessity. The Tigers' Max Scherzer was lifted in the game in the 5th.
It was looking like Brad Ausmus was going to have to go to his bullpen in the 2nd inning, where Max threw a whopping 51 pitches to finally get out of that inning.
Yeah, that would have created a huge problem. But Scherzer was able to get into the 5th inning in this one before departing. Royals trying to take over first place with a win here tonight. They lead 10-3 in the 6th. And Butler takes high, and Billy Butler has himself a walk.
Well, you have to go all the way back to the 2003 season. The Kansas City Royals this late in the year, a half a game out of first place at the beginning of the game. It's a long time.
Last time the Tigers were not in first place, July of last year.
Oh,
when they trailed Cleveland by half a game.
That's a long time too.
July of last year. Here's Gordon. Way outside, 1-0.
Gordon's had a nice day. 2-run homer in the 2nd, and he also doubled in the 5th. His 21st double of the year.
Two out of 3 tonight for Gordon, batting .291 now. 2-run shot and a double in this ball game. And Reed missed again. Two balls, no strikes. And 2-0 had a healthy rip straight back to the screen. It goes 2-1 on Alex Gordon.
That is one thing I've noticed the last couple of nights under their new hitting coach Dale Swaim, who took over about 17 games ago. Everything up in the strike zone, the Kansas City Royals are getting a real good swing at it. It doesn't matter whether it's a breaking ball or the fastball. They've been aggressive.
Dale Swaim managed the Chicago Cubs the last 2 years. 3 balls and 1 strike.
He was also on the staff of Ned Yost when Ned Yost was the manager in Milwaukee.
Strike called as Gordon was headed to first base and then called back by Tom Hallion. Well, over the last 10 appearances now for Evan Reed, an 8.35 ERA after his first 16 were really good, an ERA under 3. It's kind of been the story for the Tigers bullpen. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Gordon is out of there. Time for a game break now. We go to the studio and check in with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Mike Trout starting to heat up now.
Yeah, he was slowed down in the month of May, but he's gotten hot again in June.
Here's Salvador Perez, 1 on, 1 out. Breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1. Perez on base twice tonight, single walk. He has scored twice. He has knocked 1 in. Oh, 2. Perez with his base hit tonight now has an 11-game hitting streak. He'll take it high, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Salvador Perez won his first Gold Glove last year as a catcher, and he might have a stranglehold on that Gold Glove for the next decade.
High again, 2-2. Well, Perez in 2011, when he first got to the big leagues, hit .331, and then that offseason, the Royals identified him as a guy that they want to stick around for a while. They signed him to a team-friendly 5-year contract. Way outside, 3-2.
Not all bad for Perez. He probably could have gotten more if he'd have gone through the arbitration process once he was eligible for that. But there is something said for getting a little security. And after that deal's done, he's still got another huge deal to sign if he performs the way that he is capable of performing.
And that's the key point, I think, for a lot of these guys that sign these contracts. Singleton with Houston as well. There's a ground ball back up the middle. Suarez gobbles it up. Kinsler on to first for the double play to win the inning. 6-4-3. The bottom of the sixth is on the way. Changer, and hopefully a young man that'll be a game changer in the future. The Tigers, as you mentioned earlier, Rod, signed their #1 pick, Derek Hill, today.
We've heard that he was one of the best athletes in the draft, and he'll be a center fielder. And he loved Torrey Hunter growing up and had a chance to meet Torrey Hunter when he came here for a visit and a workout right before the draft.
He is the #6 outfield draft prospect coming into the draft this year. And, we'll see if he's patrolling the outfield in the future for Detroit.
As a matter of fact, they say he is the best center field prospect to come out of high school since Torrey came out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Lofty praise. Victor Martinez, 2 hits, both singles. He'll get it started here. Let's see, 3rd time tonight that Martinez is beginning an inning. Ventura brings home an off-speed pitch outside, 1-0.
And Victor was in the batter's box with the bases loaded his last time up, and Ventura uncorked a 98-mile-per-hour fastball about 6 feet over the head of the catcher. And that's hard to do because that's a big body back there.
Yeah. And that was the play where the ball rolled back to Perez, who threw to third, and they got Suarez, and all of a sudden the inning was over.
Just when you've seen it all.
1-1 is a strike, 1-2 on Victor Martinez.
That was a hard changeup. 89 miles an hour this guy throws his changeup. But when you've got 98, 99, you still have that 10-mile-per-hour differential in speeds.
Victor thought about going after that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How much time, and I know it's pretty much impossible to figure this out, but how much time do you have as a hitter to make up your mind when a guy throws 100 miles an hour?
You don't really have much time at all. As soon as that ball leaves his hand, you got to be thinking in one area. And if the ball is in that particular area, you've got a chance. But if he throws the ball anywhere else, you don't have much time to get to it.
And a foul tip into the glove for strike 3. So Martinez is out. Third strikeout of the game now for Ventura.
Yeah, this heater right here at 97 miles an hour. And when you throw as hard as Ventura does, you can throw some of your pitches right down the middle and still get really good big league hitters out. And he's got the kind of stuff where you can make mistakes and get away with it.
J.D. Martinez a double and was robbed of a hit by Lorenzo Cain his last time up. There's another hit for J.D. That's a 1-out single.
This is the kind of approach you have to have against a guy that throws as hard as Ventura. You simply pull your hands close to your body. You don't try to do too much with it, and you'll let him supply the power.
It's a 7-game hitting streak for Martinez. And now the Tigers 1 on 1 out. Here's Castellanos. Nick sends it back to the screen, 0-1. Reached out an air back in the second, but got an RBI. And he's knocked in 25 this year. Castellanos has raised his average 38 points because he's hitting .390 in his last 16 games. Another good crowd on hand here at the ballpark tonight. However, the Tigers fell behind early 7-2. They're now trailing 10-3. 1-1 the count. Last year, Ventura in the minor leagues averaged 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he almost hit it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Only 3 strikeouts tonight, though, for the flame-throwing right-hander.
Only had 3 strikeouts his last outing as well, but he mixed in 13 ground ball outs in that contest.
2-1 is on the ground to third. Moustakas has it, fires to second one. Relay. Not in time.
And nice feed here by Moustakas to the second baseman Infante. Plenty of time to turn it over, but Castellanos hustling down the line, able to beat it.
It'll keep the inning going now for Austin Jackson. And that is it for a strike. 0-1 on Jackson.
Yeah, another one of those changeups at 87 miles an hour thrown by Ventura. You have to admire the way that the catcher Salvador Perez has continued to make sure that he uses all 3 of his pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup. That is now the 59th fastball that he's thrown above 95 miles an hour. 95 and above. And he's only thrown 84 pitches. 59 of the 84.
Fouled away. Well, it's really an interesting top 3 that the Royals have in the rotation. When you talk about James Shields and things he can do, he throws hard, but he's got that great changeup. Then you got Vargas, who we saw last night, kind of a crafty lefty. And this guy just really comes at you.
And Duffy. The left-hander's starting to come too. He's got a plus fastball that can get up to 97. And don't sleep on Jeremy Guthrie.
Swing and a miss. Jackson is out. And that'll take care of the Tigers. 4th strikeout for Ventura. We have 6 in the books here at Comerica Park tonight. And the Royals have themselves a 10-3 lead. We have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. The Tigers tonight drawing a crowd of 34,328, but it's been mostly KC tonight. 10-3 is our score as we go to the top of the 7th. And Mike Moustakas will start things off facing Evan Reed. It'll be Moustakas, Escobar, and Dyson. 7, 8, 9 in the Royals lineup here tonight. 10 runs, 12 hits for Kansas City. The Tigers 3 runs on 8 hits. Moustakas a 2-run shot tonight. And he looks at ball 1 outside. The home run that Moustakas hit was his 7th of the year. Reed came on, pitching the 6th inning, got a double play. And is fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I told you that Evan Reed threw 20 pitches last night, and he has just thrown his 20th pitch of this evening.
A lot of pitches thrown tonight by the Tigers staff. Of course, that big inning that Scherzer had to get through, in which he threw 51 pitches in the 2nd. Two and 1 now on Moustakas. Off the end of the bat, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers staff has combined to throw 144 pitches in this game. And they're still only in the 7th inning.
Is that a lot?
I'm going to leave that judgment up to you. Here's a ground ball to short. Scooped up there by Suarez, and he's out, 1 away. And Ventura, meanwhile, on the flip side, has thrown just 86. Reed gets the first out of the 7th. He'll bring up Alcides Escobar. Royals trying to move into first place in the Central Division. These Royals players, a lot of them coming into this series, said, well, if we want to win this division, we certainly have to go through Detroit. And they put on a pretty impressive display, at least in the first 2 games. And misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes on Escobar.
Royals won the season series last year against the Tigers. They won 10. Tigers won 9 contests. Tigers started off this year going 5-0 against the Kansas City Royals. But this is a totally different looking team than that team we saw in April and May.
Very much so. And the Royals went through a stretch after they got swept by the Houston Astros where many thought, man, this is not good. They are struggling, and they just put together a great stretch. And that's the thing about baseball. It can happen at any time of the year. For the Royals, it has happened here in the month of June. That's sliced to center field, and that's going to drop in. Another hit.
Escobar is playing like he wants to make his first All-Star team.
Here's what the standings looked like on June 1st. Royals at that time were not especially playing well. In fact, KC was 6.5 out. But they've gone 11-3 in June. And now a chance to move into first place. Gerard Dyson, the batter. Little chopper slowly towards second. Charging Kinsler. Quick throw. Got it. 2 outs, runner advances.
Man, is he fast. If you're Ian Kinsler, you have to get over there. You have to glove it. You have to exchange it to the throwing hand and get it over to Miggy as fast as you can. And Dyson still almost beat it.
If you're going to be a 50th round pick and get to the big leagues, you better be able to do something really well. And for Dyson, that's run.
About 3-2, getting down the line from the left side of the batter's box. 3-2.
Well, I'll ask you, is that good?
It's blazing fast.
Here's Kane. Strike one.
A good time getting down the line from the left side is about 3.8, 3.9. Even 4 seconds.
Jeez.
He got down the line in 3.2 seconds there.
Here's the 0-1 to Kane. Right back up the middle into center. See if this gets another run in. They're going to send him home, and it will. Royals had another run. Lorenzo Cain with his second hit tonight. He didn't even start the ball game.
They're not giving up at bats. They had a healthy lead in last night's game, and they continue to have quality plate appearance after quality plate appearance, and they have done just that here once again tonight.
The old term tack on runs certainly applies to what the Royals have done the last 2 evenings. They scored 7 in the second, but they have not slowed down. 11-3. Here's Infante. Breaking ball low and away. Another big night for Omar. 2-run single in the second. Walked with the bases loaded in the fifth. Infante now has stretched his hitting streak to 8 straight. 1-1. I think you said this back in the 4th inning when Infante struck out. Really, why would you throw him anything but breaking stuff, off-speed stuff?
He is one of your better fastball hitters in the American League, no doubt. It is hard to sneak that fastball by Infante. We watched it for a number of years when he was wearing the Tigers uniform.
2-1 the count.
In this particular pitch sequence, the 3 pitches that Omar has seen from Reed have all been breaking balls.
And that one missed. Fastball from Reed that time. He tried to get the outside corner. 3-1. Evan came on in the 6th inning, gave up a walk, but got a double play. And now here in the 7th, 1-out single to Escobar. 2-out single by Kane scored the run. Here's the 3-1. And he lost it. Ball 4. Third time that Infante reaches in this game. He's going to bring up Hosmer. We were talking about a little bit earlier, Rod. Last time the Royals had a division lead this late. It was August of '03.
I try to forget about that year. 2003.
Oh, yeah. It was the 119 loss season.
Ugh, it sure was.
Hosmer sends a ground ball to first, deep behind the bag. Miggy will hit the pitcher covering. So the inning is over. However, the Royals had one more. Something on KC tonight. They have supported Yordano Ventura, who will take the mound in the bottom of the 7th.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. The young rookie phenom, Yordano Ventura, has been absolutely dirty here tonight. Knee buckling, breaking ball. He has had that fastball get all the way up to 100 miles an hour. He's made pitches when there has been traffic on the base paths. He's gotten 3 double plays turned behind him. He has been as good as advertised.
And the young Mr. Ventura goes back to the mound now as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Here are the numbers. 86 pitches in this game. He's struck out 4. Scattering 8 hits. And he'll go back to work facing Alex Avila. In the bottom of the 7th, 11 runs, 14 hits tonight for the Royals. 14 more after 17 last night. Avila walked. Scored a run back in the 5th. Way high. 2 balls, no strikes, and you've kind of touched on this a little bit, Rod, but you can see there are still times where this young man really just is overthrowing his fastball.
When his fastball gets up to 99 and 100 and there's bases, runners on base, he's basically overthrowing at that time. But really what he needs to do is just take his foot off the gas pedal, throw a real good changeup, throw a really good breaking ball, and then he can get right back to the fastball. Perez, the catcher, has done a marvelous job of mixing in all 3 of the pitches. He really didn't bust his changeup out tonight until about the 5th inning.
He's gone 3-0 here on Avila. And Alex taking all the way, 3-1. Suarez to follow, and then Rajai Davis. Eugenio waiting on deck. Ground ball right side. We'll get to the outfield grass. And the throw is in time as Infante throws him out. We'll bring up Suarez. Well, let's check out Ace Ventura through his first 15 career starts, how he measures up against Verlander and Scherzer.
Well, we know what Justin and also Max have gone on to do in their careers after their first 15 career starts. Both guys have Cy Young awards.
Here is Suarez. And Ventura throws a strike. Double play ball and a single tonight for Suarez. Ball 1. It's funny to watch the visiting broadcasters come into our booth and say, how do you pronounce your shortstop's name? And then when we tell them, they just start freaking out. We're just going to call him Gene, they say. 1-2.
Well, they're like me.
Eugenio. Been a nice start for Suarez. Now Ventura ready with the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Escobar charging. Suarez out by a step. 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th. They celebrate Independence Day with the Detroit Tigers during the June 30th through July 7th homestand. For each game, fans get an upper box ticket and a Tiger Stars and Stripes t-shirt for one low price. It's only available at tigers.com/USA. Tigers.com/USA. Here's Rajai Davis. Strike 1 in the outside corner to Rajai. Had a bunt single in his last at bat. There is more action in the Tigers bullpen. Blaine Hardy. Seventh inning, and that last pitch came in at 99. Well, he is still throwing hard. Rajai just, he couldn't hold up.
Well, he was sitting on a fastball in the upper 90s, and he threw him an 88-mile-per-hour changeup. It's back to that question you asked me earlier. How much time do you have to decide when a guy throws as hard as Ventura does? You don't have much time. Therefore, when you are looking fastball and you get something off speed, you'll see big league hitters take swings like that.
Kinsler on deck. 11-3. Royals on top here tonight as we play in the bottom of the 7th. Davis now has hit safely in his last 4. Ventura has hit the 100 plateau. fouled away. Same two teams tomorrow. Day baseball here at the ballpark. Let's look at the breakdown on Mr. Ventura.
He has not gone over 100 pitches in his last 3 outings.
High fly ball left field.
He's at 101 here tonight.
Gordon hauls it in, and it's a 1, 2, 3, 7th inning. Let's go to the 8th. The 8th inning here at Comerica Park. Tigers have been out hit 14-8 in this contest. Here's our Subway box score. And for the Royals tonight, well, there's a whole lot to talk about on their side. Eric Hosmer's 0 for 5. He's the only starter or only player without a hit. Aoki even had a hit. He was the right fielder to start the game. Kane had to come on, but a lot of hits up and down the lineup.
5 guys have at least a couple knocks tonight.
So Hosmer does have an RBI, but no hits. Blaine Hardy will come on now, and he made his big league debut against the team that drafted him last night.
Did pretty well. Pitched 2 innings, only gave up 1 hit through 29 pitches. Walked a couple, had a couple of punch outs.
Billy Butler leads it off. It'll be Butler, Gordon, and Perez. First pitch grounded foul. On base 3 times tonight. Butler has a couple of singles. He's also walked. He has scored twice. Five players with 2 or more hits tonight for KC after 7 players had 2 or more in their 17 hit efforts in last night's game. Tigers bullpen working overtime again here tonight. And Butler looks at a strike. 1 and 2 on Billy. Hardy was originally drafted by the Royals in 2008. He was a 22nd round pick. Worked his way up through the minor leagues with KC, got as high as AAA with the Royals, and then was signed as a minor league free agent by the Tigers. And he has gotten to the big leagues for the first time in his career with Detroit. The Tigers signed him in April of last season.
And that means he played for Mike Jershely, the third base coach here tonight for the Kansas City Royals.
Swing and a miss. Butler is out of there, 1 gone.
Third base coach going to have to ice his shoulder after this one. That left arm been waving the last couple of nights.
You've been working on the pronunciation, Jershely, too.
Jershely, I mean, I should know that. I played against him.
Good breaking ball there. Butler is out.
And then when he was managing in the minor leagues, in the low minor leagues for the Kansas City Royals, I was coaching in Kane County. He's been with that organization for a long, long time. Finally getting to the big leagues.
Always good to see.
It's always nice to reward your own.
A 2-run shot tonight for Alex Gordon, 2 for 4, batting .290. Ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. That 2-run homer got the party started back in the second. That 7-run second inning has been the big difference tonight for the Royals. One and 2 the count on Gordon, who wasn't really thrilled with that last call. Hardy follows Reed, who followed Phil Koch. The starter tonight was Max Scherzer. 1-2 is off the inside part of the plate. 2 and 2. Bouncing ball right side, Ratty Cabrera. He's going to have to pick up the pace, and he gets there in time. 2 gone.
Looked like Blaine may have gotten a late start. Getting over to first base, falling off toward the third base side of the pitching rubber. So once Miggy got it in his glove, instead of flipping it to Hardy to force the issue, he simply took it himself. Tigers worked early yesterday on a number of infield drills. Pitching, fielding practice were part of that. Their defense has kind of left them in the month of June.
Yeah, Brad had him out early before the ball game yesterday. Refining some things.
They've made 15 errors in June already.
0-2 now on Salvador Perez. Lewis Coleman warming up in the KC pen. Tigers able to get to some of the secondary pitchers in the bullpen last night for the Royals. Suarez backhands this one. Throw is on the money, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Blaine Hardy. To the bottom of the 8th we go.
With a reminder to stick around after the game for Tigers Live. As usual, you'll hear from Brad Ausmus, and we'll also talk to Max Scherzer and try and find out what went wrong for him tonight. Mickey York and Craig Monroe in the Coliseum Studios. Tigers Live after the game, right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Mario and Rod, back to you guys for now.
All right, Justin, thank you. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Royals will go to the bullpen now. Ventura is out of the game, and Lewis Coleman will check in.
And Coleman has posted some crooked numbers so far this year. The ERA sits at at 6.27. So he's in to get a little work, and the opponents are hitting .316 against him. He has 3 pitches: fastball, slider, and an occasional changeup.
Brett Hayes has also checked in, so a new battery. Salvador Perez out of the game. Hayes will catch. Tigers have Ian Kinsler to start things off here in the 8th inning, down 11-3. Lewis Coleman delivers a strike in the bottom of the 8th is underway. Coleman 27 appearances out of the bullpen last year. Wave and a miss. And in those 27 appearances, an ERA of 0.61.
And because the score has been so lopsided, Tigers have not really seen the back end of that bullpen that is really good for Kansas City. Kelvin Herrera, he throws a fastball that will get up to 100 miles an hour. Wade Davis, he's a different guy when he's in the bullpen versus being a starter. And of course, Greg Holland quietly is one of your better closers in all of baseball.
Albuquerque warming up in the Detroit bullpen. 2-2 on Kinsler. Driven to left field, hit well. That ball has a chance to go, and it will into the bullpen. Ian Kinsler with a home run to start things off here in the 8th. His 7th of the year.
Just a nice job of Ian Kinsler knowing the scouting report on Lewis Coleman. Usually in a 2-2 count, he throws a slider about 72% of the time. And he spins one up there, and Ian Kinsler catches it out in front, lets go of that top hand as soon as he makes contact, and he hits it into the Tigers bullpen.
9th hit of the night for Detroit. 11-4 now as Cabrera cuts and misses. Miggy tonight with the bases loaded walk to pick up an RBI in the 5th. One ball, one strike.
Yeah, that may be part of Coleman's issues this year. Every time he gets ahead, he is slider, 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 and to the right-handed batters. And the first 2 pitches to Miguel, sliders.
Two and one. Royals have done a pretty good job of keeping Miguel in check in the season series. Just 208 versus Royals pitching, and over the years Miguel has hammered KC pitching. 2-2 now on Cabrera. Leadoff home run by Kinsler makes it 11-4. Here are those career numbers: 324 lifetime with 21 home runs. And the 2-2 low, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. Uber's close. It'll be a walk. So Cabrera walks for the 2nd time.
You got to have some kind of an eye to take a 3-2 pitch this close.
Isn't that a strike? No, a little low. Yeah, right below the knees. Here's Victor Martinez. Ball one high. Now the count is 2-0. Royals bullpen was a little bit shaky late in last night's game. There's Aaron Crow warming up.
Victor Martinez, when he gets himself in the 2-ball, no counts. 2 balls, no strike counts. Looks for the fastball inside, clears the hips out, and looks to hit the ball to the pull field.
He pulls it to first base on a backhand. Hosmer throws to second one, and they get a double play. And that was not an easy one to turn, but Martinez does not run all that well.
That is the 4th double play the Tigers have hit into tonight. Hosmer really took his time, wanted to make sure that Escobar was there with the shift that they were playing, and then he got to the bag himself. Did not need Coleman to help him out. But first you have to make a good throw. Now sometimes you'll have first basemen that are looking to throw the ball and also get back to the bag at the same time, and they don't make good throws to the shortstop.
JD Martinez takes ball 1. JD easily could be 3 for 3 tonight. Was robbed of an extra base hit by Lorenzo Cain back in the 4th.
Cain robbed him last night too.
Slings one outside. 2-0 the count.
He's getting a lot more playing time these days as his bat is perked up. Batting average sitting at .283 right now.
4 home runs on the season for Martinez. 3 of those have come in the 9th inning, including last night's grand slam. Fouled away. 2-1. Strike call. 2-2 now on JD Martinez. 3rd game of the series coming up tomorrow afternoon. Jeremy Guthrie, Drew Smiley hook up at 1:08.
Well, Tigers won't have long to think about this one.
The 2-2.
And I guess in the grand scheme of things, you don't want a whole lot of time to think about it.
No, not really.
Here's that 2nd grand slam of JD Martinez's career that he hit last night.
That, for a moment at least, made it somewhat interesting. Pulling the Tigers to within 3. And he laid off that one, so the count now goes 3-2 on Martinez. Ventura pitching the first 7 innings tonight for KC, and now Coleman here in the 8th. And the 3-2. In the air to center field, and it's going to drop. Another hit for JD Martinez. He is 3 for 4 tonight. He's going to bring up Castellanos. Oh for 3. Castellanos has an RBI. Bouncing ball slowly toward third. Moustakas waits on it. And Nick is out at first base to retire the side. Tigers get a run on the homer by Kinsler. To the 9th inning we go. We go to the ninth inning. Tigers down in this one. They've trailed all night long, and the Tigers now have a new pitcher coming on here in the ninth inning. It's going to be the right-hander Al Albuquerque.
Yeah, fifth pitcher that Brad Ausmus has summoned into this contest. Albuquerque's been in 35 games now, 3.16 ERA, 29 strikeouts, 9 walks. The majority of his strikeouts come on that really good slider that he features.
Other changes for the Tigers defensively. Don Kelly is now the new first baseman. Brian Holliday is the new catcher. Andrew Romine is in the ballgame as well, playing second base. Mike Moustakas will start things off here in the ninth. It'll be Moustakas, Escobar, and Dyson facing Al Albuquerque. Big 2-run shot early in this game, part of that 7-run second for Moustakas. 1 for 4 tonight. And a ball way high, 1-0. 11 runs on 14 Royals hits. The Tigers have 10 hits of their own, but only 4 runs. And Moustakas sends a ground ball right side. Romine goes to the grass. Spin move throws him out.
It's hard to believe that by changing the hitting coach, the numbers would change this drastically, but that's exactly what they have done for the Kansas City Royals in the last 17 games. 206, averaging over 5 runs a game. Extra base hits are up, and they're doing a much better job with runners in scoring position.
Dale Swain named the hitting coach, and all of a sudden the offense goes through the roof. Alcides Escobar takes outside.
George Brett also made a nice impact when he came down from upstairs to take over the hitting duties for the Kansas City Royals for what, about a couple of months?
Yeah.
Numbers perked up. The biggest impact he had was on Eric Hosmer. Hosmer just went off the second half of last year, but Swain, his impact has had, the entire team has done well.
Here's the 1-1. Slice to right, but foul. George Brett last year thought, man, that air-conditioned booth is much nicer than it is on the bench.
He didn't like coming to the ballpark at 1 o'clock, looking at video. He said, I'm gone, fellas.
My work here is done.
I'm going back upstairs.
Here's the 1-2, and it's sliced to left or pulled to left.
This guy's been on fire.
Yeah, he's got 3 more hits tonight, Escobar.
And it's not just against Tigers pitching either.
No, because he had a 12-game hitting streak that was snapped just a couple of days ago. Now Gerard Dyson.
Who you think's having a better year, him or Alexei?
That's a really good question. I would probably go with Alexei Ramirez.
They both deserve to make the All-Star team this year.
Alexei got off to that really good start in the month of April.
Yep.
Power numbers up a little bit this year.
And he's kind of maintained it, too.
Yeah.
His errors are down, just as Escobar's errors are down this year. 2 athletic shortstops.
Back up the middle, Romine will take it himself and throw to first for the double play. 4-3 twin killing. Bottom of the ninth coming up here at Comerica. Sports Detroit, brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. By Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. And by T-Mobile, unleash from the rules of wireless restrictions. High above Comerica Park, we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's 11-4. The Royals have led all night long. They are 3 outs away from moving into first place into the Central Division, as Aaron Crow will check in for an inning of work now.
And not only that, but they're extending their winning streak, if they do finish this one off, to 9 games in a row.
And that would match their longest winning streak that they had last year, but they did that in July and then into August. Later in the season. Here's a strike called on Jackson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crow follows Coleman, who followed the starter Ventura. He went 7 innings tonight. The high fly ball hit well to right center field. Dyson is on the move, still going back. Well, maybe that's why he plays so shallow. He knows he can get to that ball.
Well, we had the clock on him a couple of innings ago when he hit a ground ball in the infield. He got down the line in 3.2 seconds. So he is one of the fastest players in baseball. Cheesing today, too. Why not?
Brian Holiday gets first at bat after taking over defensively for Avila. Ball 1 high.
Blue Jays also have a really talented outfield, but their bats make a lot more noise than these bats right here. But no one runs down fly balls as well as these 3 out here, Gordon, Kane, and Dyson.
This outfield, though, would be a little bit more athletic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But the other guys are not too bad either, with Ghost and Melky and Bautista.
Yeah, they can mash. High fly ball foul down the left field line. Into the seats it goes. 2 balls, 1 strike on Brian Holiday. .310 batting average for Brian this year. Got 7 RBIs, looking for his first homer of this season. Swing and a miss.
Brian's been hot lately. In the last 20 games, hitting at a .340 clip.
Pulled foul. 2-2. Well, rally caps are out. It's going to be a huge rally, though, if the Tigers are going to win this one. Swing and a miss. And there are 2 outs now. Holiday is down. It's going to be up to Eugenio Suarez. 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single in the 5th inning. And it's in for a strike. 0-1 from Crow. Swing and a miss. Make it 0-2 on Suarez. Tigers try it again tomorrow. Game 3 in the series. Couple more day games. Don't forget, Thursday is not on your original schedule. It's a makeup from a previous rainout. It's a fly ball to center field, hit well. Dyson is there, though, and that is that. So the Royals have come into the Motor City. They've won the first 2 games of the series, and we have a new leader in the Central Division. The Royals move into first. We'll be back.